As a law enforcement officer, I attest that my fundamental duty is to serve mankind, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all persons to ensure liberty, equality, and justice.
Welcome to Gainesville PD On Duty, where we take you behind the badge of the Gainesville Police Department. My name is Officer Ben Tobias, and I'm the spokesperson for the agency. Each month, I invite a different GPD officer to co-host the show so you can meet more of the men and women that serve this great city. Joining me today is Officer Ernell Cook. And Ernell, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do for the city.
Well, thanks, Ben, for having me. Well, I work the GPD evening shift on the east side of town, east of Waldo Road. My shift starts about 4 p.m. and runs to about 3:30 a.m. I enjoy working that side of town. We do have a lot of issues with juvenile, but due to things that the chief has been putting into place has been helping us alleviate a lot of those issues, and juvenile crime has been down a lot, actually.
Awesome. Well, we are more than happy to have you on the show today. Our first segment actually features a ride along with Officer Cook. You'll notice like many of our GPD officers, are embedded into the community they serve. Also, without getting away too much of the segment, I want it on the record that Ernell's segment was filmed before another GPD officer's video was filmed. You know, that one that got just a little bit of attention. Officers like Cook and others make us proud to be a part of the community we serve.
My name is Officer Ernell Cook, Jr. Been working here, February actually made 5 years. I work uniform zone, it's out east, it's the most eastern zone in the city. It's adjacent to Romeo and Echo. It's the Duval area, you know, the Walmart on Northeast Waldo Road. Gardenia Apartments is that area. Just actually got back on patrol, was downtown for about almost 2 years. Had a lot of fun down there, so it feels good to be back on the road. Well, I'm really rooted here. I mean, majority of my life was in Gainesville. I lived in Gainesville. I went to school, middle school, high school, and just my roots are here. Your mom's kitchen used to be right here. I found out about my great-grandmother, my great-grandfather. Mom's kitchen was founded in 1960. It was on 6th Place. A lot of people don't know that, but it actually moved and ended up being on 5th Ave and becoming one of the staple businesses in that location in all of Gainesville. Throughout my entire childhood, my Auntie Elizabeth Mosley was the staple of it. That's who my father, Ernell Cook Sr., would take me there, and I would see my auntie, and she would always say, "In the house." That was her catchphrase, and she was always the one there as I grew up, and that's who I knew to run the business. Obviously, she got sick, and she ended up passing away from breast cancer. I think she stopped working there, or closed the business around 2006. Everybody should go there. I mean, I've seen Chief Jones there. I've seen other big mayors and city commissioners and just residents, obviously. And it was a big place in this city. And just to know that my family started that and they had that impact on Gainesville was pretty rewarding. And I really enjoyed it. And I'm proud to say that my family started that business. When I think about the impact I can have as a police officer, I want it to be positive. I don't want people to see me and only think, oh, he's here to shake me down. I mean, at the end of the day, I do have a job to do. I'm a police officer, so my job is to enforce laws. But that's not all police officers have to do. That's not what I do on a day-to-day basis. I get more of a thrill stopping in businesses, talking to people, getting to know people. Sanitary Barbershop, one of the prominent barbershops in Gainesville on 5th Ave. I know you used to hear a lot about 5th Ave. We used to have a lot of crime and things like that on this side of town, but it's a good dude. Tim is a real good barbershop. He's been cutting here for quite a while. What's up, Tim? How you doing? Pretty good, baby. Just stop by, I like to say, hey, Tim, he's my barber. Good dude, man. I have to rest people, that's part of my job, but also that's what I like to do. I like to make connections in the community. Y'all get a 5?
I think I know you.
You know me? Where you know me from? Getting out with kids and playing with them and getting to meet them, meet and greet with them. And who the fastest out of y'all? I'm gonna give you a head start, all right?
Ready?
Hold on, no.
Ready?
Hold on. Okay, who racing? You racing? You racing?
Okay. We're gonna do the fair and square.
Hold on, what we running to?
Okay. Ready, set, go!
But there's a lot more to police work than arresting people. And some people get that, some people don't. I try to be a different presence. I try to be seen in a positive light. I'm not going out here to make police officers look good. I'm not going out here for PR. I'm going out here because this is what I want to do. You know, I'm not going out in these areas and speaking to these kids to try to, oh, look what that officer did. No, stop. That's not why I'm doing it. That's not why I got this job. You know what I'm saying? So if I can touch a kid, or if I can get to somebody and help change their life, or try to be some type of influence or mentor or something like that, job well done. You know what I'm saying? So if I can have police officers looked at in a positive light, more power to it. But if not, I'm gonna come to work, and I'm gonna do my job, and I'm gonna make my positive influences on the community and try to affect the kids in the community every day.
Cook, man, I'm new officer in this area, man. How you doing? Okay. What's up, man? You all right?
You can solve a lot of crimes with relationships. You can diffuse a lot of situations with relationships. Me personally, since I've been working here, just the fact that I've known certain people on certain calls have helped me resolve situations. I've been on calls and they've been hostile, they've been mad.
Come on, man, don't act like that, man. If anybody should let record this, should be me.
You straight, man.
All right, yeah, then look at the camera for me.
No, they see my backside.
I guess if we get more people in police work in general, not saying GPD, but more people in police work in general doing that, I mean, it could really help affect the look on police officers, and it could really help mend that relationship, because obviously police officers right now are looked at in a very negative light. And I mean, I'm only one man, but I'm gonna try my best to help change that perception.
Like most officers, my work days are very unpredictable. I never know what the next call might be, and that's a part of the excitement of being a police officer. It's my honor to serve and protect the city. After the break, we will hear from another officer who also serves in the military. Stay tuned and we'll be right back.
The time of the accident, I did not have any protective gear on, and I never thought I'd be hit. The only thing that anybody driving a scooter or motorcycle can do is wear protective gear, because that's really something that could save your life. My scooter was totaled. I have no desire to get that fixed. I never want to see it again, and I will never ride a scooter again.
I will maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed in both my personal and official life, I will be exemplary in obeying the laws of the land and the regulations of my department. Together, as a community, we foster order, safety, and freedom.
Our next segment features a ride-along with a Gainesville police corporal that also serves his country in the U.S. Army. Corporal Jeremiah Kelly works the northwest side of Gainesville and just returned to us from yet another deployment abroad. Corporal Kelly is still active duty like some of our other officers, and we always work with them to make sure that they can serve their country when duty calls.
Well, my name's Jeremiah Kelly. I've been with GPD about 9 years. I've been on patrol the entire time. I worked evening shift most of it. Just a little less than a year ago, I came over to day shift. Been on the SWAT team for the department probably about 7.5 years. Got my degree from university, so Florida alumni and local guy here. Been in the Army. I actually just hit my 20-year mark in the Army Reserve. I've done 5 deployments with the reserves. I'm actually a first sergeant in the reserves in the 1st Army unit out of Orlando, Florida. Gainesville Police Department's real good to us. There's just probably 25, 30 officers that are in the reserves still within the department, and they tend to treat us real good, keep our jobs for us, and give us all the freedom and flexibility to take on that other job and serve the country in another capacity. A neighbor looks like he called in a suspicious person, appears to be looking in the houses, so, you know, first we gotta try to find this guy and see if, looks like he just ran through some neighborhoods to the north, so that could be a sign he's up to no good. Try to call this lady back, or witness that saw him, and see if I can find out what he was doing and what he was wearing. Hello, this is Corporal Kelly with the Gainesville Police Department. How are you? Good. Can you tell me what you saw with this guy? Black male with an orange shirt. Anything else distinguishable about him? He had a hoodie. Was it like a bright orange solid hoodie or what? There's a lot of meter reader guys in the area with orange hoodies on, GRU guys. So most likely what occurred is she saw the meter reader in the yard and thought it was a bad guy. And in actuality, it was just a guy checking her water meter. Nothing illegal about that. Move along, but it doesn't hurt to be extra cautious, you never know. Checked out with him, found out he was just doing his job and let him go. I've lived in Gainesville probably 20-something years. Went to high school and college here. I like it. I don't know, I guess there's a lot of nature here, you could say. You know, there's a lot of springs and parks and outdoor activities, which I enjoy doing. So I like the city here. Obviously, I'm an avid Gator fan, alumni. I originally got my degree in business, and I tried to do that route for a little while and hated sitting behind a desk. So now I piggybacked on my military career, which I'm military police in the Army, and I was able to take a condensed version of the police academy basically, and then became state certified that way. So Gainesville Police hired me on kind of with a lot of my military police experience as the resume. And it's different than the military, but I very much enjoy it, you know, for kind of the moral reasons, you know. Obviously the pay isn't great, but I enjoy protecting the citizens and serving the community and taking bad guys to jail. I enjoy that part of the job. Okay, I see the Walmart employees here at ABC. You can put me 97 and 1012. Hey man, how you doing? You got any weapons on you? Can you put your hands on your head for me? Interlock your finger? Spread your leg? So essentially what this guy did is he had a bunch of food items, a bike, and some other things. At the Super Walmart, he walked out, passed all the registers without paying for the items. The store, asset protection, tried to apprehend him. Didn't fight them, but he ran away from them, and that's when we saw him at the ABC liquor store over there on 34th. All right, we'll have a seat in here. We'll go back over there to Walmart and find out what's going on, all right? Yeah. I appreciate your honesty and cooperation. Goes a long way. We'll see what we can do for you, all right? Watch your head.
I'm sorry, man. I did this to you guys.
I think as soon as he saw me, he knew what time it was and cooperated from that point. But technically, when you run from them, that's what's called resisting merchant detainment. So he'll end up with 3 charges, one being a felony retail theft, resisting merchant detainment, and trespassing. He's got a long history of robbery, theft, and a pretty extensive criminal career over the years.
Can I help you?
GBD with 1 male.
646, stand by.
House 1. Can you have EMS meet me out in front of the Sally Port with the jail? As we came to the jail, he complained of chest pains. I highly suspect these chest pains are fabricated by his imagination because he never complained of these chest pains until we get to the jail. However, as a precaution, I called EMS here to the scene. They're gonna check him out, take him to the hospital, and go through the arduous process of finding out if he's got any kind of real medical issues going on, and they'll take care of him there. I'm just gonna file the charges electronically through the state attorney, and basically what will happen is, in lieu of him going to jail now, he's free to go. I'll file what's called a sworn complaint, and that's the same probable cause arrest minimus, and basically that goes straight to the state attorney's office, and they prosecute him through the state attorney's office. That'll save so many resources being tied up on him for 4 or 5 hours for a property crime. Now, had this been, you know, a much more heinous, violent crime, likely I would have stayed with him and sat with him at the hospital and ensured he made it to jail. But we know where he lives. I properly identified him, and I can follow up with the state attorney's office, ensure the charges get filed accurately. A lot of times with the job, you got to kind of decide the best use of your resources and times, and how you want to spend your day. What's the best use of your time as a police officer when there's tons of other calls out there for service.
You will actually see Corporal Kelly again next month as we dive a little deeper into the relationship we have with officers that also serve in the U.S. military. When we come back, we will show you highlights from recent town hall meeting and show you some of the changes happening at the Gainesville Police Department.
I actually don't remember anything from the accident. Crossing the intersection of 13th Street and 39th Avenue, and a truck pulled out in front of me. Wearing all black also doesn't help, so I was wearing all black. I had a son behind me. My head went full force into the hood of the truck that pulled out in front of me. I would definitely not be here if I hadn't been wearing a helmet. I would still ride again, but I would ride knowing that I risk my life every time I get on the bike. I think everyone should know that.
So you're cruising down the road and all of a sudden you spot flashing lights up ahead. Some sort of emergency vehicle. Maybe a cop car, maybe an ambulance, maybe a tow truck is stopped on the side of the road with its flashing lights on. What do? If you answer, just keep right on going. Wrong. Sorry, try again. When an emergency vehicle or tow truck is stopped on the roadside with its lights flashing, it's your job to move over or slow down 20 miles per hour below the speed limit. That's right, move over and give them some room, or slow down if you just can't change lanes. That is unless you like paying tickets, because that's just what you'll get, a big, fat ticket. So here's the deal. Keep your eyes on the road at all times and watch the road up ahead, not just what's right in front of your hood. Anytime you see an emergency vehicle or tow truck on the side of the road, move over a lane or slow down to 20 miles per hour below the speed limit. Give them the space they need to do their job safely. Hey, these folks are looking out for you, so look out for them too, will you? Move over, Florida. It's the law. A message from the Florida Highway Patrol, paid for by the Florida Department of Transportation.
I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions. With no compromise for crime and with relentless prosecution of criminals, I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately, without fear or favor, malice or ill will, and never employing unnecessary force.
It's no secret that 2015 was not the kindest of years to us here at GPD. We had a number of regrettable incidents that we are happy to put into the past. We have to learn from each incident and adapt to move forward. We recently held a town hall meeting where we announced a reorganization of the department and listened to compliments and concerns from the residents we serve. Through dialogue like this, we can better understand the community and determine how to deploy our resources.
Last year, our agency went through several regretful episodes in which we were not perceived in the most favorable light. These issues cost our citizens, in my opinion, both money and trust. The issues hurt the image not only of the Gainesville Police Department, but of police agencies. And I want to say this, police agencies everywhere. The common denominator was police misconduct was discovered by GPD officers and citizens stepping forward. If anybody think that there was a cover-up, there was no cover-up. The way we found these things out, it was pretty much by GPD officers and citizens and staff stepping forward. I would like to commend those brave officers, staff, and citizens who came forward to report these matters. We're beholding to their courageous efforts and their transparency. I just want to say that. I want to pause and make sure you all know that. It is the responsibility of my office, commanders that you see seated at this table, to address these matters openly, honestly, and effectively, both for the sake of the officers and staff in this agency and the public. I want you to know tonight that I'm committed to doing just that. And when I'll get in and tell you some of the things that I've already did, I can assure you that the staff and the public in these activities that I have put out, that it will not be tolerated. I have zero tolerance for this type of stuff that went through in 2015, and I dealt with it as I saw fit. The reorganization was not done solely because of the recent incidents that was previously mentioned. It was done to bring greater efficiency and accountability of the staff. Overall goals in addressing crime and building professional staff and enhancing our community trust. If you don't have trust, you don't have nothing between the police department and the community. I'll say that again. You have to have that trust. That trust will have to be there. I'm adding a second major to the police department. This major shall serve as an inspector for this agency and shall manage all administrative functions within this agency and shall manage the Internal Affairs Unit. The Internal Affairs Unit will be more proactive, where we will go out and we will look for any inconsistencies, and we also going to look for when we're doing things right within the agencies as well, and assist us in following our policies and procedures, and maybe come up with some additional ones that will make us more effective. Here's what it looks like. Under my office, you'll see our legal advisor, Lee Libby. You'll see Ben Tobias, and then you have Major Rick Hanna. The other person where you see vacant, that will be the new major. We haven't yet hired at this particular time. You got Major Hanna, which will be over operations. We took the city and we have 2 districts. We're going back to captains running the districts and the Gainesville Police Department. And what we have is Captain Anthony Ferraro, this man right here. He has District 1. Captain George Campos, he has District 2. Each of them have executive officer. Lieutenant Mike Scabola will be District 1 executive officer. Lieutenant Rob Kohler, I guess Rob is not here, he will be the executive officer for District 2. When you look at the investigations division, we have 1 vacant captain position, but the man that is, and you'll hear from him after me, is Lieutenant Mike Shintrip. He is running that particular division as far as detectives is concerned. And then the Special Operations Unit and the Drug Task Force, we have a lieutenant that is running those areas right there. Now, those faces that you see down here, the shift commanders, they're the ones that will run and manage the officers that respond to calls for service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For administration, the major is vacant, but under the major you'll have Lieutenant Steve Weaver, who will do youth services. I put a new person in training, and that is Dan Stout. He assumed the training role as of January the 4th. I put another person in internal affairs, Lieutenant Whitney Stout, and she is out in training as we speak right now, so she could not be here, but she will have internal affairs. That will be up under her domain. Lieutenant Jeff Blundell will do logistical support, and Lieutenant Joe Rollison will do personnel and fiscal. And like I told you, one of the things that will happen is that they will consolidate, but we'll still have Joe as one of his responsibilities, liaisoning with the new personnel division. I'm bringing in this year is the law enforcement oath of honor. And we're going to do this for not only our sworn, but our non-sworn personnel as well. We have to continually remind ourselves a public affirmation of adhering to an oath of honor is a powerful vehicle demonstrating ethical standards. To be successful, I ask our command staff must ensure the oath is recited frequently, and you'll see displays throughout our organization. Management must ensure ethical mentoring and role modeling are consistent, frequent, and visible. This is the oath. On my honor, I will never betray my profession, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the laws of this country, my community, and this agency I serve. I believe in that, folks. I believe in that, and we're bringing this to us. Thank you. And with that, I'd like to say thank each and every one of you all for coming out tonight. And I often say what makes this community special is the citizens and the men and women, and y'all see them up there, I want y'all to recognize them up there, that work the streets 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of this agency. No organization that I know, and if you do, show it to me, that is perfect. I'll say it again. I don't know an organization in the United States right now that is perfect. We always work to do it better. The other thing I want to say that even the staff don't know that I was going to say, when y'all see surveys and everything else out tonight, there's rumors that Tony Jones is going to step down. That I'm going to step down as your police chief and I'm going to leave the community. I want to tell you tonight and set the record straight, that's an absolute lie, okay? If it were not for the citizens of this community and in the room and working with our officers, I'll be honest with you, I would be saying that right now. But because of this tonight, this energized me, and because of the officers that we have an agency, we're going to do some great things in 2016. Thank you very much.
We try to meet with the public, and we try to meet the public, and we try to discuss things very openly. If we have some concerns, we will follow up so that we want citizens to know that we are your police department. The second thing that I want to walk away with tonight is we need greater partnership. I was happy to see a diverse population from all over Gainesville tonight that came in and discussed their views. One of the things that I think one of the citizens was talking about tonight, we got to know each other. The better we understand each other, the better we know each other, the better we understand each other. And so what we're going to do this particular year, I expect my district commanders, is kind of get out of the vehicle and just sit and talk with citizens. What we do as our staffing levels increase, what I would like to see is more foot beats where officers are out of the car, kind of what I do every month, where you go and you sit down and you talk with people in non-emergency situations. And you begin to build up a trust with that citizen, and hopefully you're going to have a positive rapport for the future. It energized me tonight to see a cross-section of Gainesville that showed up and cared enough about the police department, even under the overcast skies, that they showed up and they were interested to see what the Gainesville Police Department is doing.
We are so thankful for those of you that took the time to join us for this meeting, and we especially thank those of you that had questions or concerns. Chief Jones has listened to all of them, and he will be acting accordingly. If you missed the meeting and would like to view it in its entirety, you can find it full video at www.gainesvillepd.org/town hall, or just click the link below.
Well, folks, that's it for this episode of Gainesville PD On Duty. Be sure to find us online on Facebook or Twitter, or by visiting gainesvillepd.org. You can learn more about the Gainesville Police Department and even watch previous episodes.
We encourage you to contact us with any suggestions that you may have or what you would like to see in future episodes. Let us know if you like what we're doing or if there's anything that we can do better.
Folks, a somber reminder that 15 years ago on February 12th, we lost GPD officer Scott Baird. We always remember Scott, but especially on this 15th anniversary of his passing. Please make sure you help our officers stay safe as we protect and serve this great city. Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you again next month for another episode of Gainesville PD On Duty.
I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith, and I accept it as public trust to be held, so long as I am true to the ethics of the police service. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement.
He said to me, Mom, I want to get a bike. And I said, Tom, I don't want you to get a bike. Something happens to you, I don't think I can go on. And he said, Mom, nothing's going to happen. He was a safe driver. He wore all the gear, but was a bike, so they're just not safe. You just don't have metal around you.
Burglaries and robberies have become serious concerns in our city. This crime is referred to as a crime of opportunity because most criminals look for the path of least resistance. Protect yourself, don't become a target, lock your doors, and keep expensive items out of plain view.
For crime prevention information, go to GainesvillePD.org. or call the Gainesville Police Department's Crime Prevention Office at 334-2479. Protect yourself. Don't become a target.